Hello and welcome to African News on Voice of the People Television. I am David Edwin. We begin the news in Ghana, where the new Patriotic Party will today officially unveil Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh as the running mate to their flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, for the upcoming 2024 general elections. The announcement will take place at the Kumasi Jubilee Park in the Ashanti region, the party's stronghold. The event is expected to draw prominent figures within the NPP, including President Akufo-Addo, the Council of Elders, members of parliament, and other key members. Recall that last Thursday, the NPP's National Council formally endorsed Dr. Opoku Prempeh, the current energy minister, as Dr. Bawumia's running mate. Dr. Opoku Prempeh's nomination has sparked national discourse, with supporters applauding his addition to Dr. Bawumia's ticket, while critics have raised concerns over his perceived demeanor. In a statement, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh expressed gratitude to Dr. Bawumia for the opportunity to serve as his running mate, pledging full dedication to securing victory for the NPP in the upcoming elections. Still in Ghana, Ghana's Center for Democratic Development is advocating for standardized procedures to correct errors in election results, aiming to prevent confusion at polling station and collation centers. Dr. Kojo Pomponi Ashanti, Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at CDD Ghana, highlighted the absence of specific laws guarding error corrections, which currently allows for discretionary actions by election officials. Addressing stakeholders at a public dialogue on electoral reforms in Kumasi, Dr. Ashanti emphasized the need for clear guidelines to enhance the credibility and transparency of Ghana's electoral process. Funded by the European Union, the initiative seeks to build on previous electoral reforms and address gaps identified over the years. Participants at the event included representatives from political parties, civil society organizations, the National Peace Council, the National Commission for Civic Education, youth groups, and the media. Ahead of Ghana's election, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh's nomination and confirmation as the running mate to new Patriotic Party's flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has been hailed by the Bawumia Institute for Rural and Democratic Development as a testament to his steadfast dedication to Ghana's progress. In a congratulatory message issued by BIRD's Executive Director, Anane Adye, the Institute praised Dr. Opoku, known affectionately as Napo, for his exceptional leadership qualities and unwavering commitment to public services. BIRDS highlighted Dr. Opoku's intellectual prowess, strategic thinking, and ability to foster consensus, noting his extensive experience across various sectors as pivotal in his selection for the vice presidential role. The institute, funded on the principles of Ghana's former Prime Minister, Dr. Kofi Abrefa-Busayi, emphasized Dr. Opoku Prempeh's contributions beyond education, citing his role in shaping policies that promote economic growth, healthcare improvements, and overall quality of life enhancement for Ghanaians. Away from Ghana, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed addressed parliamentarians last Thursday, highlighting a planned coup d'etat allegedly linked to Sadkan Gabri Tenis, a former Tigray People's Liberation Front combatant and ex-Ethiopian Defense Chief of Staff. Sadkan, currently in the United States, was a key negotiator during the Pretoria talks with Abiy's government leading to the cessation of hostilities agreement in November 2022. A TPLF faction known as the Adwa Group has reportedly alerted the Ethiopian government about Sadkan's alleged coup plot, warning against his return to Ethiopia. Sadkan's alleged communication with contacts in Ethiopia, possibly within the military and government, remain unspecified. The Adwa Group has issues with Sadkan due to his stance during the Pretoria negotiations, where he blamed the TPLF for the 2-year war that claimed nearly 1 million lives. Still in Ethiopia, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali arrived in Port Sudan on Tuesday for a one-day visit focusing on strengthening bilateral relations and addressing the ongoing conflicts in Sudan. It was received by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, head of Sudan's Transitional Sovereignty Council and the Sudanese Armed Forces. The visit aims to find a sustainable solution for Sudan's stability amid a deadly conflict between the SAF and the Parliamentary Rapid Support Forces. Ethiopia, part of a regional mechanism seeking conflict resolution, did not address accusation from al-Burhan regarding its alleged support for the RSF. You are watching African News on Voice of the People television. More stories after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. In Libya, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Libya's Government of National Unity has refuted claims of impending bankruptcy, accusing the independent newspaper of bias towards a political faction in Libya. In a statement on Monday, the ministry criticized inaccuracies in the independence report, noting the absence of official statements and reliance on unverified analysis. The ministry emphasized Libya's strong economic position and projected 8% growth for 2024, citing international institutions like the IMF. Additionally, the ministry questioned the impartiality of the Independent, pointing to the author's ties to a politically affiliated channel and suggesting a partisan agenda behind the article's claims. Meanwhile, the heads of Libya's House of Representatives, High Council of State, and Presidential Council will convene for a crucial tripartite meeting in Cairo, Egypt, in mid-July, confirmed by a source from the HCS. Initially speculated to be held in Morocco, the meeting's location and date were finalized during the HCS last session. The gathering, scheduled for July the 15th at the Arab League in Cairo, marks the second of such meetings following their first in Cairo on March the 10th. Well, moving on, South Africa's International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola and his counterpart in Home Affairs Leon Schreiber are tackling the newly imposed visa requirements by Ireland for South Africans with the Irish government. Recall that the Irish Minister for Justice, Helen McEntee, on Tuesday announced that nationals from South Africa and Botswana would now be required to obtain a visa before traveling to Ireland. However, the decision was prompted by an increase in asylum seekers from both countries, both of which are designated safe and are the only countries on the list which do not have visa requirements. McEntee said the decision was carefully considered to bring Ireland into closer alignment with the Schengen area's approach to SA and also into line with the UK's stance. Meanwhile, Lamola spokesman Crispin Theory said that the minister and Schreiber are both aware of the matter and have discussed it as they will engage with the Republic of Ireland to comprehensively address the concerns raised. And then Ethiopia's local manufacturing industry has marked a significant milestone with the production of smart poles, boosting the sector's growth from 30% to 40% according to the Ministry of Industry. MOI Minister Maleko Alibel emphasized the government's focus on enhancing local production capacities and reducing import dependency. The Smart Pole initiative, which has created over 673 permanent jobs and generated market opportunities worth approximately 374 million birr, showcases the sector's potential. The strategy also involves local production of power supply inputs like cables and transformers to address hard currency shortages and foster market competitiveness. You're still watching Africa News on Voice of the People television. More stories in business and sports after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now to some business stories. Kenya is bracing for prolonged higher interest rates to stabilize its local currency following Moody's Investors Service downgrade of its debt rating. Moody's revised Kenya's local and foreign currency long-term issuer rating and foreign currency senior unsecured debt rating to CAR 1 from B3, indicating a high risk of default. The downgrade is attributed to the Kenyan government's decision to abandon planned tax increases in favor of expenditure cuts, highlighting struggles in revenue generation and financial management. David Rogovich, Vice President and Senior Credit Officer of Moody's Sovereign Risk Group, stated this policy shift significantly impacts Kenya's fiscal trajectory and financing needs. Now to some sports stories. John Paul Makunya Ahoyekui was once a AS Kigali defender till death. Will be laid to rest on Tuesday, 16th of July at about 15 hours in a sober burial ceremony which will take place at Nyami Rambo Graveyard in Kigali, Rwanda. The 27-year-old left back died on Saturday afternoon, July the 6th, at a playground after he reportedly collided with a goalkeeper during a friendly match and subsequently fell on the ground. He swallowed his tongue during the incident and was unable to recover. Hundreds of mourners, including AS Kigali's players and management, joined hundreds of mourners to pay tribute to the player. However, according to the burial schedule, family members will pick Mokoya from Nyangungegen Hospital mortuary before saying their last goodbye at his hometown in Kayambuye at 10 a.m. The church ceremony will take place at Charles Waga Parish before laying his body at Yami Rambo Cemetery. Okoya played for teams like SC Kiyumvu and AS Kigali at club levels. He also played for Rwanda's under-23 team. Still in sports, Portia Modise, the former captain of South Africa's football team, has appealed to fans to help get her car back after she was hijacked outside her home in Soweto. In a video clip posted on Instagram, Modise said she was held up at gunpoint by boys who took her mobile phone and keys and drove off with her car. The video has received an overwhelming response from fans and supporters. However, the car has not been recovered. The 41-year-old made her international debut in 2000, aged just 16, and went on to make a record number of appearances for Bawumia. In 2005, she was nominated for the FIFA Player of the Year, and the following year, she claimed the Player of the Tournament award at the African Women's Championship. She has since moved into coaching. In April, 24-year-old footballer Luke Furs was killed in a hijacking mission at a petrol station in Florida, Johannesburg. And with that, we've come to the end of the African news on Voice of the People television. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Thank you so very much for being here. Coming up shortly is Health Check with Fina Okechukwu. I am David Edwin. Do have a good afternoon.